When I made the decision to adopt my first cockatiel, I confess that I had no idea what was coming. It all started casually with almost no planning. I was just looking for a new pet to brighten up the house. And honestly, I didn't think much about the impact that little bird would have on my life. I found my first cockatiel at the residence of an ordinary breeder, not at a pet store. Upon arriving at the house, I was greeted by an environment full of life, with several cockatiels singing and moving around in their cages. There was a cheerful buzz in the air, with colorful feathers and small vibrant sounds filling the space. However, it was one cockatiel in particular that immediately captured my attention. When our eyes met, she displayed contagious happiness. Her eyes lit up, and she began to hum excitedly, shaking her head from side to side. Her enthusiasm was so evident that at that moment I was absolutely sure that she was the chosen one. The instant connection I felt with that little bird made me know that it would be my companion. At that moment, I felt an immediate connection. There was something in her eyes, something that captivated me deeply. I decided that this would be my new companion. Little did I know that I was beginning a journey that would forever change the way I saw animals and the care they require. As I took her home, I realized that I wasn't just adding a new animal to my routine. I was welcoming a living being who would depend on me for everything, from food and shelter to love and attention. At first, the adaptation was a little more complicated than I imagined. She was suspicious, didn't like to be touched, and honestly, I felt a little lost. But little by little, something magical began to happen. I discovered that in order to gain his trust, I would need to invest time, patience, and affection. She began to observe me closely, to study me with those attentive eyes. Over time, I noticed that she no longer moved away when I approached. And then on an ordinary day, as I was sitting next to the cage, she did something that changed everything. She took a small leap and landed on my shoulder. At that moment, I realized that I had begun to build a real bond with her. It wasn't just a bird in a cage. She was a little companion with personality, feelings, and emotional needs. That simple gesture, the jump to my shoulder, was the beginning of a friendship I never imagined I would have with an animal. What I learned early on and what I want to share with you is that having a cockatiel is much more than taking care of a bird. It's about creating a bond that requires dedication, understanding, and true love. And this journey, which began so unexpectedly, ended up becoming one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. If you're thinking about owning a cockatiel, or if you already have one, know that you're about to embark on an incredible adventure. Each day, you'll discover something new about your cockatiel and yourself. And best of all, the more you dedicate yourself to her, the more she reciprocates with love, affection, and unforgettable moments. As the days passed and my cockatiel settled into its new home, something surprising began to manifest. What I initially saw as a simple pet turned into a being whose presence had a profound impact on my life. I was beginning to realize that there was something much more significant going on than I had imagined. Soon after her arrival, I noticed that she began to react to my emotions. On days when I was stressed or sad, she seemed to feel it somehow. I remember one particularly difficult day, when I was sitting in a corner of the room dejected. The cockatiel, who was usually more reserved, flew up to me and landed delicately on my shoulder. She didn't make a sound, she just stood there close to me, as if trying to comfort me. This experience was a watershed. I began to realize that my cockatiel was not just a bird that needed basic care, but a being that possessed remarkable emotional sensitivity. She seemed to pick up on my mood swings and almost instinctively tried to offer me comfort. It was as if there was an invisible connection between us, a bond that transcended ordinary words and gestures. What surprised me the most was watching how this emotional connection began to influence her behavior in profound ways. When I was happy, she became more active and playful, giving clear signs that she was happy. When I was quiet, she also tended to be calmer, as if respecting my space and my state of mind. The realization that my cockatiel was able to understand and react to my feelings opened my eyes to the complexity and depth of emotions that animals can experience. This understanding was an awakening. The cockatiel wasn't just sharing a physical space with me. She was actively participating in my emotional life. The connection I was forming with her went beyond simple care. It was a relationship of mutual support and understanding, and it made me reflect on the importance of recognizing and valuing the emotional dimension that our pets bring to our lives. I started to invest more time in meaningful interactions with my cockatiel. I spoke to her more consciously, observed her reactions, and adjusted my actions to meet her emotional needs. This constant exchange of affection and understanding strengthened our bond in ways I never thought possible. If you also feel that there is something deeper in the relationship with your pet, know that you are on the right track. The emotional connection with your cockatiel can be a source of constant joy and learning. As you take the time to understand and support this relationship, you will discover the true value and depth of friendship that an animal can offer. In every gesture and look, there is an opportunity to build a stronger and more meaningful bond. When I first started caring for my cockatiel, I was prepared for the basic tasks, offering food, water, and making sure she had adequate space. However, I soon discovered that caring for a cockatiel goes far beyond these superficial aspects. The real challenge began to reveal itself when I realized that my bird's health and well-being depended on more attentive and detailed care than I had imagined. The first big lesson came when I was excited about the idea of pampering my cockatiel with a variety of foods. I bought a colorful mix of seeds and even some exotic snacks that I thought she would love. The idea seemed perfect. A diverse diet should be beneficial, right? However, I soon noticed that my cockatiel was showing signs of discomfort. She was quieter than usual, with slightly disheveled feathers, and seemed to lose her appetite for some of the foods I offered. It was then that I realized how much I had underestimated the complexity of the proper diet for a cockatiel. What I didn't know is that certain seeds and snacks, even if they seem harmless or even delicious, can be harmful to the bird's health. Some of these options contain ingredients that are not suitable for your diet or may even cause digestive issues and nutrient deficiencies. The real challenge was learning how to choose and prepare the right food. This involved not only careful seed selection and balanced feed, but also the inclusion of fresh fruits and vegetables that are essential to the cockatiel's health. I needed to educate myself on which foods were safe and which could cause harm. Before long, I understood that a balanced and appropriate diet was critical to my cockatiel's overall health and well-being. In addition to food, I realized that care for hygiene and the environment was equally crucial. The cage needed to be cleaned regularly to prevent the buildup of residue and bacteria. Fresh, clean water had to be available at all times, and the maintenance of the environment was vital to prevent disease. Each of these aspects required attention and commitment. One of the biggest challenges was understanding that caring for a cockatiel was not limited to basic tasks, but involved a constant commitment to its health and happiness. For example, regular cage cleaning and checking for signs of illness have become essential routines. I learned to closely observe behaviors and signs that could indicate health problems and to act promptly when necessary. This experience was a great lesson in the responsibility involved in caring for a pet. Having a cockatiel taught me that in order to ensure her quality of life, I needed to be willing to invest time and effort in all aspects of care. Every detail, from feeding to cage maintenance, plays a key role in the bird's health and well-being. Whether you're just starting out with caring for a cockatiel or already have one, remember that the real challenge is constantly being mindful of their needs and well-being. The reward is a rich and fulfilling friendship, built on the foundation of caring and dedicated care. And as you take on these challenges, you'll find that the journey of caring for your cockatiel is actually an enriching and transformative experience. From the moment I brought my first bird home, I discovered that the care of these little beings goes far beyond what I imagined. The emotional connection I built with my cockatiel, the challenges I faced to ensure adequate nutrition, and the details surrounding a care routine revealed how profound and enriching this experience can be. Each discovery was an important step in understanding that to truly enjoy the company of a cockatiel, you need to dedicate yourself to all aspects of its well-being. The feeling of seeing her trust me, the importance of adjusting her diet, and the continuous care to keep her environment healthy are aspects that transform the relationship with her into something truly special. Whether you're just starting out on this journey or you're already an experienced owner, I hope these experiences and tips have illuminated some of the way. After all, caring for a cockatiel is more than a responsibility. It is an opportunity to build a genuine and fulfilling friendship. Now I'd like to hear from you. What did you think of these insights about cockatiel care? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to let us know where you're talking from. If you liked the video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more tips and stories about life with cockatiels. But don't leave just yet. We have so much more to explore. Soon, a new video will appear on the screen, and it is a must-see for anyone who wants to delve even deeper into cockatiel care. Click on the link to watch and discover valuable tips that will further transform your experience. Thank you for being with us on this journey. See you in the next video.